I just invite all the youth peace leaders to please come up on the stage. I invite Panji Saputra, Head of National Sports Affairs Division, Indonesia, to please come up on the stage. I invite Jeff Nelson and Janet Nelson, Senior Fellows, International Center for Law and Religious Studies, to please come up on the stage. I invite all the youth peace ambassadors for this dialogue session to please come up on the stage. I take their names and you please help me invite them. ते माझं तिथेच ठेवलं तू. हे घ्या. तुम्हाला पोडियम वरचं मागं आहे. So I invite now the student delegates, Zahra Al-Hilali, Akwe, Perth, Australia, Alec Berovic, Akwe, Montenegro, Yakin Sikandar, Akwe, India, Himanshu Pandey, Akwe, India, Dr. Deepak Kumar, Akwe, India, Greshma Payas Raju, Akwe, India, Ardra Prasanna Manoj, Akwe, India, Sophia Lestina, Brigham Young University, Hawaii, Aaron James, Brigham Young University, Hawaii, Prashant Ramishetty, BYU, Hawaii. We have Supriya Thorat, Andres Bonilla, Gyaneshwari Virole, Uday Jain, Dharini Nashikkar, Om Joshi, Aditi Salvi, Nandini Bhalekar, Nitish Tiwari. It is all from MIT World Peace University, Pune, Bharat. So please take your seats. Thank you so much. Friends, this is going to be a gigantic session because there are many parallel sessions, there are many plenary sessions in this G20 Interfaith Summit, and all the leaders in their respective domain have expressed their version, their vision, and how the global challenges can be met. And youth have a very different perspective about how to deal, how to look at the very issues. And their perspectives matter. Their vision matters because they are the ones who are going to inherit the decisions made by today. And hence we felt that let the youth also discuss and deliberate on the very same issues also, and then in a separate session represent their vision of how to help humanity with these complex issues. And hence this specific session called as Global Youth Peace Dialogue is here. I need to mention and welcome that a particular type of book is given to all the student delegates here. It is kept with you also. If it is not given, I request volunteers to kindly give the book which started the journey of MITES MIT group of institutions. I request every faculty members to kindly help with all the students, to kindly help them with the book called Thus Spake Vivekananda. Because the honorable dignitaries on the dais, Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir, in his first year engineering book, he got one of these scintillating message from the book called as Thus Spake Swami Vivekananda, and the whole history of how the unification of science and spirituality should happen in a pragmatic way, and the ultimate manifestation of that education is in the manifestation of this World Peace Dome. So this book is also given, and we request every participant, every delegate to keep this book in their pocket, because that's why it's a pocket edition. That's why revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath D. Karad sir always keeps it in his pocket. He kept it for decades together, and the manifestation we can see. So we really welcome you for this fantastic session. To know more about the basics of this session, what we are going to deliberate and discuss, I request the technical team to play the curtain raiser film on the theme of this Global Youth Peace Dialogue session.
This session is based on Global Youth Peace Dialogue. This session is about how our young generation thinks about the challenges of the modern world and what are their perspectives towards the solutions of these complexities. Youth, given the opportunity, can mesmerize the world with their ingenuity and creativity. India, which has the privilege of being the birthplace of a great noble son, Swami Vivekananda, a youth icon the world over, has a great role to play in the invigoration of national character and also to show the pathway of harmony and peace to mankind. In this session, the youth representing diverse countries, castes, creeds, religions, and organizations will engage in dialogue on the critical areas such as addiction, trafficking, climate change, and practical spirituality.
Thank you so much. Friends, Swami Vivekananda once said that the humanity is not going from false to truth. He says that the humanity is going from truth to the truth, from the truth which is lower to the truth which is higher. So for noble son of India, Swami Vivekananda, there is nothing like falsehood. Everything is true, everything is truth, but then we need to understand the difference between the lower truth and the higher, and the pursuit is always manifesting to the highest perfection, that is the ultimate. Vivekananda always symbolizes that strength is life and weakness is death. And that's what the youth resembles, strength, courage. And the very journey of this institution is about the spirit of sacrifice as well. About the spirit of sacrifice, Vivekananda said that this life is short. The vanities of the world are transient. But they alone live who live for others. The rest are more dead than alive. So those who only live for themselves, according to Vivekananda, they are already dead, though they appear to be living. And only those who live for others, they truly are living. And so the life of Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir truly resembles the saga of the selfless sacrifice in the pursuit of world peace. So before we move ahead for the panel discussion, we are going to take only a few felicitations, and then the student panel discussion will occur, and after that enthralling discussion, we will also go for their felicitation. So begin with, I request as per the tradition of a mighty group of institutions to kindly felicitate our guest, Mr. Panji Sapurta. He is the head of the National Sport Division Affairs of the Indonesia. So may I request Honorable Dr. Karad sir to kindly welcome and felicitate Panji Saputra from Indonesia. This way. I request Dr. Milind Pandey, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, to kindly felicitate Mr. Jeff Nelson, Senior Fellow, International Center for Law and Religion Studies. I request Ms. Janet Nelson, please come up, and request Dr. Milind Pandey sir to felicitate. Please give a round of applause. Thank you so much. So before we begin the student session, I know a little, I discussed with all the student youth peace ambassadors, their version, what they want to say. And my dear friends, let me tell you, they have a tremendous piece of ideas, even I say wisdom to share with all of us. But just before we enter into that part of the dialogue, I would like to request Mr. Panji Saputra, Head of the National Sport Division Affairs, to kindly guide us in a couple of minutes. Please, sir. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce myself. I am Panji Saputra. I am the representative of youth from Indonesia. For today, I would like to share my experience in Indonesia and also my experience in around the world related about youth. Well, the G20 countries comprise of the more than 60% of the world populations. The diverse populations and cultural background, this has more than 17,000 islands and more than 300 ethnicities and more than 700 languages. G20 of youth, youth in the G20 countries believe that different access to the education, limited employment opportunities, and growing racial and cultural discrimination are the top three major causes of inequality in the world today. So it means we need to get together to make a peace from the youth in around the world. The diversity and inclusions not only aims to embody the spirit of inclusivity, but also to raise the important cultural and equity discussions that we have seen emerging in the last 3 years. After the COVID happens, we lost our connections, we lost our friends, we lost our family. And this time, to all youth in the world, to raise their dream, to open their eyes, to open their heart, to start, restructure together. And we should to collaborate together to make the peace happen in ourselves, in our family, and in this world. And as young man, who's standing in the front here of you, I stand not only as me who working at the President Office in Indonesia, but I stand in the same of you as the youth who have many challenges, who have still struggle to fulfill our happiness, our peace, to our future. So I want to convey a philosophy about the life from the land of the gods, Bali, in Indonesia, who majority of Hindu. Trihita Karana can be literally translated to the three-way causes or ways to happiness or harmony. The philosophy itself encompasses the three most important aspects of the life in Bali or Hindu, which includes God, humans, and nature, and the places these three as a basis for development of human life in Bali. Three means three, Hita means prosperity, and Karana means the causes. In Sanskrit terminology, Trihita Karana is the three elements that manifest happiness and the three factors that created physical and spiritual prosperity. During this forum, I would like to convey a numbers, the things that related to youth in creating of peace. Of course, this does not only come from within, but also requires collaboration to make it happen. The first one, it is very important for the youth to create the creative economy for young people. It is a dynamic sector that embraces cultural diversity, contributes to the economy, keeps the society vibrant, and empowers vulnerable groups to improve livelihoods. The road to a resilient creativity economy in the new normal lies in the young people's innovative and collaborations. Can you imagine? You are as a youth now is not alone. Through the internet technology, we can connect youth from Pune to Delhi, or maybe from Delhi to Jakarta and around the world. This is the opportunity that we should take advantage as the good positive way to our life. The second one is about the youth social entrepreneurship. The explore social business as a viable pathway to employment for young people and also an opportunity for them to address pressing community needs. You know, they have more challenges in this case. We can see the human resources challenges. We need human resources who are expert in the technology and also to expert in the skill and soft skill. Last but not least, it's about the inclusive educations. You know, no one left behind because we have the same right to get the educations. Youth in the big city and in the rural area, they have the same thing to get the education. The facilitating ease of access education, inclusive pedagogies, financial support, flexible legislation focusing on those who are left behind. So we need to encourage cultural and creative workers to experience innovative. And before that limit of time, I would like to ask the youth here and also around the world that if you have dream, just follow your dream. Focus on your happiness, focus on your goal. Don't distract with the negative thing. So keep the positive way in your mind and in your heart and always in the good intention. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Panji Saputra, who is all the way from Indonesia, and he is from the Government Ministry of Sports Affairs. Thank you so much. Now, before we proceed for the discussion and the dialogue, I have some announcements for the participants that please, due to the paucity of time, your dialogue should limit to around 3 minutes, please. And there are certain questions for you, and as a part of that question, your response related to the peace, related to the G20 Interfaith. So thank you very much. My colleague, Dr. Sachin Gadekar, will be asking from this side, and I will be joining from the other side, and all are requested as per their schedule to participate in this dialogue. So thank you very much. And with the permission of revered Professor Karad sir, I begin this enthralling youth panel discussion on the Global Youth Peace Dialogue. So my first question goes to the participant from Perth, Australia, Zahra Al-Hilali. So may I request where Zahra Al-Hilali is? Okay, welcome ma'am. Welcome from all the way from Perth, Australia. Zahra, you worked on grassroots, national and international levels of advocacy, and you have witnessed systematic barriers at every level. For young people's meaningful inclusion, how do young people and all stakeholders decolonize and disrupt these barriers to ensure young people do not work in their silos?
Assalamu alaikum everyone, may peace be upon you. My name is Zahra Al-Hilali and I'm the CEO of Oak Tree Australia. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. This is a quote that many young people Many people across many interfaith spaces have been told a multitude of different times. My intervention today specifically focuses on how we explore meaningful engagement. And as an Akwe representative today, I specifically would like to focus on the Interfaith Development Goals. Now, I'm sure many of us are aware of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, 17 goals which highlight how we can create a sustainable world. But we must recognize that beyond dialogues like this, beyond interfaith communities, unfortunately, we risk occurring a multitude of different issues that disengage meaningful interfaith dialogue. Now, my intervention today specifically focuses on what these interfaith development goals entail. And one specifically focuses on intergenerational dialogue. When we speak of stakeholders, we often focus on those with positions of power, those who are able to influence the status quo, those who are able to create a meaningful impact. But society tells many young people that young people are not a part of this equation, which is why the interfaith development goals are so profound in recognizing what true meaningful intergenerational dialogue looks like. So in my suggestions today in answering your question, I specifically focus on how we create platforms and engagements to spiral intergenerational dialogue. It is platforms where we are able to engage a multitude of different stakeholders, where we are able to bring our perspectives to the table. But dialogue is not enough. Dialogue will never be enough. How do we bring our voices collectively to build change beyond the rooms that we are a part of? And that is what is missing in spaces that bring together stakeholders or are already disrupting the status quo. We will never be able to disrupt the status quo until we facilitate true, meaningful dialogue that is simply presented in the Interfaith Development Goals. So I recommend everyone here exploring Akwe's website and having a look at the Interfaith Development Goals, because this is a branch that is systematically excluded from how we create cohesive and peaceful environments. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Zara, for pulling us onto thought of from dialogues to actions. Thank you so much. Now I would like to invite Alec Barovic. You have been a political scientist, activist, a PhD candidate in human rights from University of Padova, and an Akwe Fellow. So my question would be, what is the role of young people in Balkan region in the process of peace building and reconciliation?
Hello everyone. Thank you for a great opportunity to be here and to see the world famous Indian hospitality. I'm coming from Montenegro, one of the smallest countries in the world, located in Southeast Europe. This beautiful city of Pune has around 8 million citizens. My whole country has 600,000 citizens. I'm also coming from the region of Western Balkans, which were devastated by terrible wars back in the 90s. 25, 30 years after those wars, we still today have huge problem with rising nationalism that is threatening to repeat the history that we told that is years behind us. So, as in every society, youth is playing a crucial role in reconciliation and peace building. When I talk about the wars in the 90s and the split of ex-Yugoslavia, I would say that those events happened because we didn't know enough about each other and we haven't seen those differences among us as something that unites us and not something that divides us. Unfortunately, another one prevailed. So, in the current period of time, I think that education and dialogue among the youth presents a very important role in peace building and preventing the conflicts. So, in the Akwe, we are using the concept of peace through dialogue. I think that the same concept may be used in the Balkans and there are a huge amount of organizations that are trying to create and unite the young people in the Balkan countries, especially to meet other cultures, other religions, other traditions, so we can get rid of that fear of each other that we have. We do not have the possibility to stop with that process, because if we stop the side that is trimming and that wants hate and destruction, that side never stops and never rests. Unfortunately, some governments in the Balkans are, in the last few years, trying to rise nationalism. One of the main goals to those powers is to rise nationalism among the young people. And the reason for that is because how we shape the young people now, that's how they are going to behave in 10, 20, 30 years. And those powers want to continue to rule using nationalism, and they of course want to have the voters in the next decades. So I would say that those are some kind of grounded nationalisms. So once again, I would like to call for dialogue. I would like to call for understanding, and let's see those differences between us as something that is diverse and beautiful, and something that unites us, and not something that is a possible source of hate among us or future conflicts. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Andres. Thank you. Thank you, Alec. Thank you so much. And let's welcome our Executive President, Shri Rahul Karad, sir. Welcome with a big round of applause, all the youth ambassadors. Thank you so much. You must have heard now ACWE. So let me tell you that ACWE is the official youth organization, youth wing of the G20 Interfaith Forum. And we have got delegates from ACWE UK, ACWE Montenegro, Worth Australia, Lebanon. We have got United Religions Initiative organization also, their delegates, Religion for Peace, as well as from BYU, Hawaii. So we have got a host of organizations joining here in the youth dialogue session, along with the MIT World Peace University. So my next question goes to Andres Bonilla. He is an environmental engineer with 6 years of experience in the coating industry as sales manager. He is an adventurer who likes to travel around the world and discover new cultures. So, Andres, question to you is, do you think that the generation today needs mindful education while walking on the path of peace?
Good afternoon, Ajicishi, Paukikuna, Panikuna, Ajishamushka, Hatun Yachagwasi. It's my local language in my country. Thank you for your question. Yeah, of course, not just the young people, not just the scholarship, also everyone. Why? Because the most of the time when we are in our daily activities, we are not conscious about the things that we do. But sometimes, just sometimes when we are alone, for example, we can feel how we can read, how we can sleep, how we can see. Just in that way, we are making mindfulness. Because the conscious mind is present. No more than that. I need that the mindfulness is an important topic that needs to be introduced in all the schools. Because just in that way, the best knowledge could have our students around the world. I come from a little country like you, Ecuador, South America, and I appreciate that I am invited here. I know that we have a word, summa causa, means mindfulness life. We need to share our knowledge to have a better society between us. The mindfulness education requires a purpose. When the purpose is experienced in a mindfulness way, we can have acknowledgement without dogmas, without absolute truths, without absolute statements, without intolerance. The world is changing now. Every day is changing. So we need a new kind of leaders that can face that kind of problems, social problems right now. Joe Bachani.
Thank you, Andres, for that wonderful interaction and the importance of mindful education. Now, would like to invite Dr. Yakin Sikanda. Sir is a PhD in clinical psychology, IB in Haldun University. And my question would be, in regions with diverse religious and cultural backgrounds, what collaborative efforts can be made to create safe spaces for dialogue and mental health support that empower vulnerable groups and promote peaceful coexistence?
First of all, as we are talking about peace and dialogue, so let me invite you all with the Muslim greetings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May God's peace, mercy, and blessings be upon you all. I'm here representing the organization A Common Word Among the Youth, which works for peace and dialogue among the young people. As a professional, I am a psychotherapist, and one of the things that we do in therapy is creating safe spaces. And that's why when we talk about safe spaces, this term is really dear to me. And why is that? It is because as human beings, we are storytellers. We are continuously creating meaning. And when stories are told in safe spaces, where one does not fear judgment or persecution, it is then only once such safe spaces are created, then only people open up, and then only we can have peace and dialogue. When people are not threatened, when people feel calm, when people know that they can trust others, they can trust the system, they can trust the government, they can have trust. That's the most essential thing about safe spaces. And one of the things that we see in marginalized communities, for instance, is that marginalized communities always feel threatened through power or through other means, which is why such safe spaces need to be created. I mean, over the last couple of days in this Peace Dome, we have been talking a lot about how religion promotes peace and tolerance. And we know that. But the real question that we need to ask is, what is holding us back from achieving that? Rumi said this. He said, your task is not to seek love, but your task is to remove the barriers within yourself that are stopping you from realizing what love really is. So instead of asking ourselves about peace and about dialogue, let's ask ourselves, what is stopping us in this country? Is it caste? Is it our color? Is it religion? Is it gender? Is it identity? Are these the barriers? And if these are, how do we go ahead in removing them and creating spaces where people feel safe? Just like the SDGs, peace and security is the 16th SDG. At ACWAVE, we have what we call as Interfaith Development Goals, IDGs, and we have 10 goals. And goal number 8 would actually be using religion as a tool for peace. So we should all make sure and try how religion has a role in promoting peace, so that religion is not weaponized, rather it's used in order to create safe spaces. And let me tell you a brief story from this land. When the Parsis were persecuted from 8th to 10th century in Iran, they come to India. And the Indian king at that time, which is Jadi Rana, the priest of the Parsis, he goes to him and says, we have come from a very far land and we need some space. So the legend says he had a jar of milk in his hand, which was full till the brim. So he tells him, we don't have any space. You know why? Because just like this jar of milk, we are full. So what the priest does is he takes some sugar out of his pocket and puts it in that milk and says, we are not going to take any extra space. All we're going to do is just sweeten up the community which is already thriving here in India. Now that is the creation of a safe space. And the result of that, be it Tata's, be it the Homi Bhabha Atomic Center, all of them are from the Parsi community. So safe spaces need to be created, and we have a deep role in that. But the idea would be through peace and dialogue, communicating with each other, which in conclusion reminds me of a quote of Martin Luther King Jr., who said that people hate each other because they don't know each other. And they fear each other because they are not known to each other. And they don't know each other because they don't communicate with each other. And they don't communicate with each other because they have been separated from each other. So our aim should be, in this Peace Dome, to remove this hate, fear, and distances and barriers that we have built, and try building bridges that connect instead of walls that hold us back from each other, that divide us, so that we really reach the true essence of what really matters: peace, safety, and security. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think he deserves a bigger round of applause for, wonderful said that build bridges, not walls. Thank you so much. Next, I want to ask to Mr. Himanshu Pandey. ACWE, the abbreviated form is ACWE. The long form, the correct name is a common word among youth. And so he's from ACWE, India. So Himanshu, the question is, he is a co-founded of Dignity in Difference, a youth-led, youth-focused collective resisting online hate speech in South Asia through research, training, and advocacy. So, Himanshu, what does the artificial intelligence boom of generative algorithms mean for peace building?
Thank you. I was talking to my friends there yesterday. The technology is an amplifier of human intent. It's not a substitute. I'm a digital anthropologist, which is a fancy way of saying that I scroll social media for work. Oh, you should be jealous. Oh, I'm sure that everyone has heard here of ChatGPT. Some use it to write crappy poems for their partners. Most of us use it for writing emails. And a large number of our young people here might be using it for their classroom assignments. Very recently, we uncovered thousands of social media profiles running an online automated hate campaigns against minority in South Asia. Hate is manufactured at a scale, and we should be afraid. We can build very wonderful interfaith frameworks, nurture communities that stay together, stick together. But these online hate campaigns can reach at the homes, delivered directly to the next mobile. And with enough dose of them, people start hating each other. So I don't have much to say, but it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. No, not the entire song, but A, B, C, D. And that is, AI is it's in our daily lives. The opportunities and threats that it brings are real and very near. Recognize and accommodate them within interfaith community programming. Break the echo chambers. Talk, listen, and build bridges with people who aren't like you, who don't act like you, who don't come from same communities, and who belong to a different identity. Bring genuine curiosity for others. Co-create with youth. That's also ACWE Interfaith Development Goal number 4. The leaders of tomorrow are here. And any substantial change accommodating the interfaith framework cannot take place without them. And it can't be patronizing. You can't be like, we are elders than you, we will tell you what to do. This generation is growing up in a very different reality than you did. Just like you did in a reality that was very different than your previous generation. come to us as an equal, talk, and then maybe we can make peace a reality, purely intergenerational. Digital literacy is also another essential skill. Make sure all of us have tools to discern truth in the camouflage of information dump. Also, because of the irony of today and yesterday, it is lost on me, decolonize. What's up with our love for white skin? A truly peaceful world is built on ideas of equity. It's not on power relationship. Let our mind be free from the chains of the past. And I'm hoping that I would be able to see it in at least next few hours here. With that, I'm paraphrasing the founding statement of UNESCO. Since wars begin in the minds of humans, it is in the minds of humans that the defenses of peace must be constructed. May we be less hypocrite. May we be more curious about each other. May we be more compassionate. May we build leaders of tomorrow whose kindness isn't lost with power. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Who better than his generation is a digital generation would be happy to interact you post-session, but thank you so much for your words. May I now invite Supriya Thorat, a student of MIT World Peace University. She represents rural Bharat and is proud of her roots and ethos. She wants to contribute to the development and conservation to the roots she comes from. She is an MBA student and a chef too. Supriya, my question to you is, how to solve rural women's issues regarding education?
Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity to answer this question. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, as we all know, women are near about half of the world population. Women are important pillars of our society. They have potential to contribute and play a significant role in our society. In G20 summit, our Honorable Prime Minister said that global development is not possible without women participation. This information boosts my confidence to work on women empowerment because as I represent a rural background, women facing different issues related education, they only work in agricultural sector, collect some money and take care of their families. But as a student, we have to take one step ahead. There are different governmental schemes which are helpful for women empowerment. For example, Beti Bachao Beti Padhao, Nari Shakti Puraskar, Mission Sakhi. In our MIT World Peace University, various programs conduct like corporate social responsibility, rural immersion program. With the help of this program, we can promote rural and Adivasi areas women's, try to understand their problems and come up with the solution. It is our endeavor to make our Bharat as a Vishwa Guru. For that, we have to need to empower our women so that they can positively contribute their work to our nation building. For example, our Honorable President Draupadi Murmu, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharamanji, India recently launched Chandrayaan 3. In that, our ISRO women scientists contribute their hard work to our nation building. To conclude, sometimes an angel, sometimes an hellraiser. Sometimes an angel, sometimes an hellraiser, always strong of women. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Supriya. Thank you so much. So well said. Next, I want to ask Dr. Deepak Kumar. Deepak Kumar is working with Global Interfaith Organization, United Religions Initiative, East Bharat, with the network of 1,050 plus organizations and in 115 plus countries for peace, justice, and healing. So, Dr. Deepak, how millions of underprivileged and slum children can get quality education for those who are going to school? Remote children, they have no schools, and how they can be part of this sustainable educational transformation?
Thank you very much. So, greetings of peace, everyone, especially all the youth. It's a wonderful time to introduce myself, as I already said. So, on behalf of Equa, I think there are 10 interfaith sustainable, you can say, interfaith goals, which is talking about the solutions. So today, as Sir has asked about how we can come to the solutions for hundreds, and as today also 160 millions of children still they are not getting the quality education. They are still living in the slums. They are still living on the street. They are still living on that forest. So how they can come up? So I would say we have to take our 24 minutes of our day, 24 hours, we can change the world. We have, means I would say in 2013, I have started a small school that is called Open Sky Schooling. And coming to the Open Sky Schooling started with the only 3 children. And when I was in Delhi University, I would say after 4 p.m., we used to start that school. So all the children who were not knowing what is the meaning of education, their parents are not knowing what is the future of education, so we started. So all the youth, we can do a lot of things from a very small change, that is start from a very easy. So easy word is very, very important. When you are going to start, a lot of things will happen. From Open Sky School, I would like to say, sir, we have came to the Slums Interfaith School. It was 40, then it became 100. Now it has around 2,000 children. We have took this initiative and they are getting the education. And I am very grateful during this G20 summit, our Honorable Prime Minister, sir, and now today I can see a great example and I can see the vision can be possible. Honorable UNESCO Chair Holder Professor Dr. Vishwanath Dikarat, sir, I am inspired and I'm getting motivation for next 20 to 30 years that if sir can bring us this kind of world peace dome, I think of course there will be after slum school, Open Sky Schooling, then slum school. Now we are planning for the world's first slums interfaith university, where all the students can get great quality of education, and of course, like 100 million children, which is still lacking behind, and still another data, we have 60 million people who is still lacking of all this education. So let us start this from easy, and of course we can do it if I would say if URI can do it, United Nations Initiative can do it, Equa can do it. Equa has 10 interfaith development goals. And if we'll go through that, everything is possible. Vision is possible. G20 summit, which interfaith summit is coming with that solutions. So I would say the solution is there. Only we have to take initiative. Only we have to bring only 24 minutes of our 24 hours. We can bring a huge change. So now, I would say, thank you very much, and let us come together, let us join together, and the youth all across the world has the potential. India is having the youngest population in the world, and we uniting together, uniting the interfaith world can bring a huge solutions. And yes, education is the face of the world, and through this education, we can bring a huge change, as we have started from Open Sky Schooling, then Slum School, now Slums Interfaith University. So this all are possible through this initiative. Thank you very much. May the world is full of peace, justice and healing. Jai Hind and Jai Bharat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Big round of applause, my dear friends. Thank you so much, sir. May I now invite Ardra Prasanna Manoj. Has been an enthusiastic peace builder and youth peace ambassador of United Regions Initiative, URI, has been part of URI since childhood. She has been elected as the Secretary General of a global peace campaign named 1 billion youth for peace to reach 1 billion youth for peace building by fostering empathy and advancing common action among people of diverse faith through shared efforts. So my question would be, how can youth create a peaceful future?
Thank you so much, sir. Good evening, everyone. So no task is much more important than contributing to the establishment of firm and enduring peace for all mankind. So youth is a symbol of strength. So youth is actually the change. Good evening, everyone. So as such, it is rightly said, no task is much more important than contributing to the establishment of firm and enduring peace across mankind, so for mankind. So youth is actually the powerhouse of strength. They play a pivotal role in any nation. So as youth, we can play a major role. We can actually be the change makers. So youth play a very important role as change makers. So we can actually create a culture of peace, or we can create a culture of violence. So as powerhouses, as the greatest resources of any country, any nation, so we can become the peace builders, the peace ambassadors. So today, I'm standing before you on behalf of United Religions Initiative and also 1 billion Youth for Peace. I'll take a moment to talk about 1 billion Youth for Peace. The movement 1 billion Youth for Peace, it is a collaborative interfaith campaign. After working in collaboration with United Religions Initiative, URI, and many groups for many years, it is a Cosmic Community Center, CC. It became aware that it is the need of the day to foster or to integrate youngsters, the youth, in peace building. So following this realization came the fruition of 1 billion Youth for Peace. So this initiative was launched officially in the United Religions Initiative Youth Assembly, Annual Youth Assembly on August 24, 2019. There was 200 youngsters have participated there. So 1 billion Youth for Peace is actually a global youth campaign. So it tries to reach out 1 billion youth for peace by fostering empathy, understanding, and advancing common action among the people of diverse faiths through shared efforts. So I'm very glad and proud to tell that 1 billion Youth for Peace has now reached 100,000 youngsters, 1 lakh youngsters. So 1 billion Youth for Peace, the initiative has enrolled 100,000 youngsters so far. So our volunteers have been going to many institutions day by day. So they talk about the power of youth. They talk about the need of building a peaceful world. So we are joining hands with organizations, international organizations like United Religions Initiative, YMCA, Rotary, World Yoga Community, Global Law Thinkers, and so on. So as youth, I'd like to quote the former president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's words, his message for the youngsters to have courage. So I'd like to quote Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, to have courage. Courage to think different, courage to invent, courage to discover the impossible, courage to travel on an unexplored path, courage to share knowledge, courage to remove pain, courage to reach the unreached, courage to combat problems and succeed. So let's unite our hands for a world of peace so that our children, grandchildren, we leave a better future, a peaceful world for the generations. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Adra. Thank you so much. Vivekananda echoed the same feeling like strength is life and weakness is death. Thank you so much. Om Joshi studies in MIT World Peace University, Pune, Bharat, and he is an activist who continuously reach out to masses and addresses the field of food security and children issues. So, Om, the question for you is, what do you understand when you hear children's issues, and what is the main reason for the children's issues, and what are the main ways to recover from that?
First of all, thank you, sir, to ask me this question. I am very glad to represent my views on this topic. As we gather on this global forum, I would like to address that child issue is not a local issue. It is a global crisis driving our society into the failure. There are many child issues in our society, but online multiplayer games, malnutrition, education are the most significant child issues that demands our attention. From the very basic, malnutrition. Malnutrition has been global crisis in our society since decades and is decaying the roots of our future. To avoid this, we should inculcate the priority to food and nutrition to vulnerable communities and promote global and government policies. As per a report, around 38% children have shown undergrowth nowadays, and 31% have shown stunt growth, and 5% shows wasting. On moving further, I would like to show about education. As of 2023, education sector is rising day by day. But after the hit of COVID-19 pandemic, around 1.6 billion learners were affected by the closure of learning institutes. To avoid this, we should inculcate more learning institute and focus on quality of the education, not quantity. To reduce the lack of education, we should promote subjects like peace in the curriculum for betterment of the society. In the end, I would also like to shed light on online multiplayer games. Online multiplayer gaming sector is rising day by day on the heaps of depression, anxiety, and stress. According to a report, around 89% of the gamers are suffering from depression, stress, and anxiety. To avoid this, we should introduce yoga and meditation in our day-to-day life to avoid this anxiety, depression, and stress. So, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Om. Thank you for your inputs. We know the generation can only understand the generation's issues and challenges. Thank you so much. May I invite Grishma Raju, a young peace builder having several years of experience in interfaith dialogues and environmental peace building. She is the founder of Eco Peace Teen Cafe, an online global network for young people organizing transformative educational programs. She represents ACWE, Religion for Peace. My question to you, ma'am, how can faith-based youth peace dialogues contribute to promote peace and harmony among diverse communities in today's world?
Thank you, sir. And dear brothers and sisters, we are having a wonderful time here. And first of all, I would like to thank everyone for hosting this wonderful G20 meeting. And we know, like youth peace dialogue, how it helps. And we are having a dialogue here also. So my first interfaith dialogue was happening in 2008 with my fellow friends. And we were discussing about different topics from climate change, social justice, and women empowerment. And we had a very truthful conversations during those peace dialogues. And many of the dialogues helps us to connect more and build trust among all the communities. So I started as a teenager doing interfaith dialogues, and then one of the URI conference, I started my journey of peace building with United Religions Initiative. So one of the URI conference, I met people from diverse background who are mostly the victims of civil wars in Sri Lanka and Nigeria. So they were using this opportunity to open up and sharing their stories. So when we listen to their stories, we are understanding like how hard to survive wars, and also it helps us to understand how privileged we are. So as a teenager who is 17, I decided I want to be in a peace building field. I wanted to serve for the people who are suffering. And the Sri Lankan lady who witnessed civil war and who lost her family members, she was asking me one question: do you have water to drink? Do you have a place to live? So that question changed my life. So that's why I said, like, youth peace dialogues can change the world through having conversations. If you check the definition of dialogue, we can see it's a way of communication with two or more people. So I said, like, dialogue is a way of communication from the heart to heart. So let's use the peace dialogues to have communications from our open heart. And please use these opportunities to communicate with your fellow friends of what is the problem you are having. And through peace dialogues, we can open up and share, and we are creating a safe and inclusive space for all youth, and also encourage them to share their voice. It's so hard sometimes to share the voice. Sometimes we are afraid of many things. But I'm also the founder of Eco Peace Teen Cafe. And why we use the term cafe is like it's a place of coffee conversations. So we are hosting online cafes, so people can come and have the conversation on different topics. You can open up and share your thoughts there, and we are there to listen, and we are ensuring that you are in a very inclusive and safe space. You can share the stories there, and you can use these dialogues to become like more better people. Like that helps you to be like more happy and peaceful. And also I would like to thank all the hosts. And also I want to mention that when I came here, like it's a little bit hard to convince others that I am also a speaker. So dear young friends who are the students coordinator here, so many times I want to convince you that I am also a speaker, I am also a guest. So please, dear friends, don't be surprised if you are seeing a young person who is speaker at the Global Summit. Yes, this space is also for us. All the youth have a voice. Please share your voice, raise your voice for peace. Let's build a peace of sustainability. Let's build a world of just. Let's build a place for inclusive and more strong world. Thank you.
Thank you so much. A huge round of applause for Greshma Raju. Fantastic. Well said, Greshma. It is said that it is not the size of the person in the fight that matters. It is the size of the fight in the person that matters always. And so, that's always is there. Thank you so much, Reshma. Karad sir always says, in Hindi he says, or Marathi, ye hruday che te hruday. So when the brain speaks and the brain listens, it is dialogue. But when the heart speaks and the heart listens, it is called as not dialogue or communication, it is called as communion. And so I think it should be more of a communion than a dialogue, then only probably all the ills of the society will, come to an end. Thank you so much. My next question goes to Dharini Nashikkar. She is a visual arts student from MIT World Peace University. And Dharini, the question is, what measures could be taken to inculcate peace in the youth?
Namaste. Today I stand here in the Global Peace Dialogue for the youth, and I start with the best definition for youth. Yuvatsyat sadhu yuva adhakah, ashishtah, dhrudishtah, balishtah. Youth in Bharat is not defined by age, but by these guna which I mentioned earlier. Bharat is a country of youth because each and every citizen of Bharat has inculcated these guna in themselves. Inculcating these guna is directly related to peace building. When you inculcate these guna in yourselves, you build peace into yourself. So this has been focused upon by our ancient scriptures and epics. It is, we follow the notion where there is peace within, there is peace outside. Bharat, a word formed by the combination of two words, bha meaning prosperity and rata meaning engrossed. We are a nation engrossed of prosperity. So what should others learn from us? Inculcating peace is extremely important, and we can do that. We can inculcate peace in every corner of the world
if peace is introduced in the academic curriculum of youth. MIT World Peace University is the first university which has inculcated peace in the academic curriculum. And here, we are over here in the largest World Peace Dome, which stands as a monument to spread peace, the culture of peace, in every possible way. Our Bharatiya Sanskriti has given everlasting insights on morals, ethics, and peaceful cooperation to instill the values of harmony, acceptance, and tolerance into the youth. The current youth is under the influence of extremism, and this is actually very disastrous. If this influence is prolonged, it can become hazardous for the human race. That's why peace building is extremely important in the youth. Peace building in youth is not only a noble endeavor, but would also result in global prosperity. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Dharini. Thank you so much. May I now invite Sophia Lestina, a fellow for the Religious Freedom and Human Dignity Initiative at BYU, Hawaii. She's currently studying intercultural peace building with minors in political science, international development, and health and human science. My question would be, what is the role of Pacific indigenous faith practices in conflict mediation?
Thank you. So let's first break apart this question a little bit and talk about conflict mediation. Many of us act as informal mediators without any formal training or professionalism to go back to our conflict spaces where we are expected to build peace. And sometimes with the best of intentions, we do more harm than good because we make assumptions about people, or we say things that we don't think will be offensive, but it is, and we make mistakes and it happens. So my goal today is to teach you a practical skill of all the things that we've talked about here today, to go back to your conflict spaces and act as a better mediator. So the most common form of mediation today is narrative mediation. And narrative mediation is based on the theory that how we talk about ourselves and our conflicts greatly shapes the way we perceive and react to our conflicts. So it's all about storytelling. Narrative mediation is when you, in your space, whatever that looks like, help the two disputing parties or whoever's arguing to reframe the stories they're telling, to look at it in a different context. And one of the best ways to do that is to find a common thread, a common piece of humanity. Narrative mediation is a very Western style, and we're not in the West. And so I want each of you to think about those common threads of humanity that connect you with the people around you. And so I'm going to use Pacific indigenous faith practices as an example of how you can do that. So in the Pacific, there is a saying, Te va, and va is, it means space, but it doesn't mean empty space. It means space where relationships and energy thrive. So what va means is that I am in this space and you are in this space, therefore we belong together. Now if we incorporate Te va, this stems from an indigenous faith practice of using the stars and the ocean and the land to understand their gods and their purpose of life. So if we use Te va, navigation through life, we can connect that to navigation through conflict, and that encourages conflict transformation. So Te va is just one way that Pacific Islanders are adapting their conflict spaces to be more productive and more informed. And so I would like to invite each of you to consider your own cultural, ethnic, political, religious backgrounds as you return out of this peace dome and you go back to places where people are fighting and arguing, whether in person, whether online. And I want you to consider those common threads of humanity that can unite you, and I want you to reframe the story. Help those people tell their story differently, a place that's more positive, constructive, so that we can move forward with an actual skill to do more good than harm. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Just before inviting the next participant, I just want to make mention of Bharat, because revered Karatsad always says that the definition of Bharat, Greshma also said correctly about Bha means prosperity and Rat means the constant pursuit. Karatsarji would always tell also this definition that Bha means Prakash, light, but Prakash of light of knowledge. So Bha means the knowledge, the light of knowledge, and Rat means the constant pursuit of the knowledge, knowledge of the ultimate. And Rahul Kararji, from the last many years have been working that why India should not be named as Bharat. And incidentally, the G20 presidential letters get to all the countries, and the Honorable President of India has written not as invitation from Republic of India, but from invitation from Bharat. So I think Rahul Kararji's work, is paying off. He has been working well before in many years, and now it is coming. Maybe a special session is also getting organized in this month about naming India as India and Bharat as well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rahulji, for your vision also. My next question goes to, we have very few participants remaining now. The next question goes to Uday. Uday Jain is a student of MIT World Peace University. His goal is to become ambassador for world peace, great goal. And he is working in the area of women empowerment. So Uday, what are the challenges in women empowerment and how do you think to overcome them?
Thank you so much, sir, for asking me this question. I would like to say that women empowerment is not just a moral imperative, it is a global imperative, and that transcends border and affects every nation of this world. It is not just about gender equality, it is about harnessing the untapped potential of women to enhance economic growth, social cohesion, and foster global stability. Now, talking first about the economic encouragement, when we empower women in terms of finance and education, many studies have shown that they help a lot in encouraging a nation's economy. It is very necessary to reduce the gender wage gap, for which recently the English Cricket Board has announced that they will provide equal wage for men and women cricket team. Also, in Indian Constitution, according to Article 39D and 42, it is mentioned that equal work will be given equal pay irrespective of any gender. Now, talking about social development, educated and empowered women tends to take a firm decision on her health, her children's education, and family planning. Also, when it comes to social, civic, and political life, a woman's representation is very necessary to take better decisions. Recently, on September 1st itself, Ms. Jaya Verma was appointed as Indian Railway CEO and chairperson. According to the recent census, the number of females has increased to 1020 per 1,000 males, which is a very positive sign. And also, as we all are aware about the Chandrayaan 3, in which more than 100 women engineers and scientists worked together dedicatedly to make every Indian proud. Yet, despite all this progress in the recent years, women face a lot of challenges in terms of gender-based violence, irregular, unequal education positions, and leadership positions. As we all are gathered here today, we must thrive to make women powerful and to make a society better and the world at large. Thank you.
Thank you, Uday. Thank you so much for your views on a very important topic, women empowerment. Now, may I invite Aaron James from Hawaii, BYU member. And my question would be, how can the intersection of religion, ethics, and technology be harnessed to advance and sustain global peace and harmony in an increasingly complex and technologically driven world?
Thank you so much for the question. First of all, namaste and aloha from Hawaii to everyone. And this question is really important, especially for the youth. Something very important which I would like to tell you all about myself is that I come from the family where we have a lot of interfaith marriages. So when I was sitting over there, when I saw all the leaders, I didn't feel very different. I felt like I'm sitting with my family. So as we try to understand this question, so we are trying to understand how these ethics, how this religion and technology can go hand in hand. Because a lot of times we see that people don't want to add these things together. But as we are youth, we are moving forward, we are developing. We need to understand that these three can be really beneficial for our country and for ourselves. As I was growing up in my family, I understood that religion is not a problem. In my family, people come from different religions. They always taught me that a language of religion is love. So it was not a problem at all. And I am an information technology student, IT. So I love technology a lot, and I'm using it for a better way. But where do we go wrong? Why does it all this, chaotic environment because of all this? Well, I feel that there is a quote which I really enjoy. It says, Yatra dharmastra jayaha, where there is dharma, there is victory. Well, we need to understand that historic part of this, that technology has been used in ancient times till now, and it has never been a problem. It has always been an important part of our growth. And to make this technology, it's always the ethics and religion influences has been used. If we see our ancient, monuments, we are always been surprised. How did they do that? How did they make it? It's always the technology. It just with time, the technological ways are changed. So throughout history, religions have acted as a moral compass, guiding societies towards ethical values such as compassion, justice, and tolerance. Today, technology enables us to amplify these timeless principles on a global scale. Religion and technology have coexisted for centuries. Religious texts have often been a source of inspiration for technological advancement, like astronomy, architecture. What does this technology can help us to make this, a world full of peace and harmony? Once I was just roaming around my campus in Hawaii, and I asked, because Hawaii is a pretty peaceful place. So I asked one of the Hawaiians, and what makes this place so peaceful? They said it's the culture. As we see, the culture is going away slowly and slowly from a lot of places. In preserving that, technology can help. So another quote says, Sarva bhaya pranabhya cha sarvam pranhi. All beings are connected and all beings are life. This kind of highlights the interconnectedness of all life and importance. Technology can help and preserve and share religious and cultural heritage. Digital archives and virtual museums safeguard traditions for future generations. So the one problem we see with technology is ethical challenges. Technological, people are trying to fix these things in this era. A crisis of ethics is what I can say. Because considering the ethical, surrounding with AI and automation, like job displacements and bias, people are worried, and we should be. Religious ethics can offer really, good insight on addressing these issues, because we are the master of technology, and the problem comes is when we become a slave of it. We all need to be a master of technology. In this digital age, we face crisis of, when I say ethics, it's because of, with issues like misinformation, cyberbullying, what else? Social media addiction. Parents are pretty concerned about that these days. Mine was too. But I used it in a good way, I guess, because I'm studying IT. So religious teachings can always guide us and promote this online civility and empathy, because after all this, in today's world, it connects the world together. Technology bridges and gaps between diverse religious and cultural communities. It enables interfaith and dialogue, fostering understanding and cooperation. In conclusion, I would just like to tell that intersection of religion and ethics and technology is a complex, evolving landscape. By recognizing in the connection, we can harness the potential of technology while adhering the ethical principles rooted in our diverse religions, traditions. So let us strive for a future where innovation, compassion go hand in hand, shape a world that respects the dignity of all the intersection of religion, ethics, and technology. Let us leave this conference not just with words, but with all collective determination to act, knowing that the future of our world, one of peace and harmony, rests in our hands. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Aaron. Thank you so much, Aaron. I think it's a great sign that the world compassion is coming more often and from the youth. Probably it is a great lesson to all those crusaders also, that even at the age of youth, they are thinking of compassion. So thank you so much, Aaron, from coming all the way from Hawaii. Thank you. Next is Ganeshwari. Ganeshwari is a student of BA Political Science, MIT World Peace University, Pune, Bharat. And she has a remarkable efforts in environmental engineering, preservation, social work. She has a strong spiritual foundations which guides her actions and imbues her work with compassion and empathy. Again, the word compassion makes her an inspiring advocate for positive change. So, Ganeshwari, what are your views on importance of religion and ethics in this era of science and technology?
Thank you, sir, for your question. Namaste and good afternoon to one and all present here. Dharmo dharna dharmo ityahi dharmo dharyati praja. Dharma or religion is a way of life. It is way of worship. It is way of thinking. It is a antarik vritti. It is a inner conscience. It is a sanskars, and it is a mindful way of living for the betterment of society. Then, does the religion which we follow teach us ethics? If it does teach us ethics, then why we are in the blind need to protect humanity above our religious or ethnic identities? And if all the religions are supposed to have their own identity, then why they all have same policies like do no harm? Ekam sat vipraha bahuda vadanti. That truth is one, why is interpreted in different ways. Here, I come from a culture where Maryada Purushottam Prabhu Sri Ram says, Maryantani Vairani. When even the real ones of Ravana were not ready to do his funeral, Prabhu Sri Ram did it, even when he was his enemy. And in recent times, modern times, we see that soldiers and dead bodies are being tortured in an hilarious way. Where are we? In the rich heritage of India, we have Upanishads, we have Vedas, we have scriptures like Gita, Jnaneshwari and Tukaram Gatha, where the divine principles and laws of life and the scientific realities of Mother Nature are already being mentioned. And yet we think that they are the innovations of recent centuries. When thoughts and ideas are not generally considered as forms of technology, we need to understand that science and technology is being developed from thoughts, is being developed from questions, and is being developed from reasons. And when we try to decode our religious scriptures, be it of any religion, and our mythological past, we discover that it stretches our imagination and our thinking process to a certain level where technology can be created. Just look around. Look around this beautiful Vastu, this beautiful dome. Don't you feel that this dome itself is an epitome of science and spirituality together? Where the beautiful idols of saints and sages inside and scientists outside represent that our antarik vritti, our inner conscience, should be based on religious values and ethical values, but our outlook should be scientific. Here, in this modern age, we want technology to foster, but we still need a base, a foundation based on our ethical and religious values, where science and spirituality takes over. And I firmly believe that science and spirituality together will do wonders for us as humans. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ganeshwari. A huge round of applause I need. Thank you. Thank you so much. And the last of the student delegate today is Prashant. He's from Hawaii. He's studying there in Brigham Young University. It is his first time he's ever attending such a summit in the large stature, and he is very pleased to be in the midst of all of us today. And so, Prashant, what do you think we should do to be a better peacemaker in this world? Where is Prashant?
Here.
Yes.
First of all, thank you so much for your sweet introduction. Appreciate it. I also feel immensely pleasure to be here in the same stage as the honorable leaders and global peacemakers to be addressing us last couple days in this prestigious summit. Before sharing my thoughts on this question, I would like to pose the same question to you all individually to think within your hearts of what you could do to be a better peacemakers in the world. When we think this in the hearts, and the other question that comes up and the thoughts that I want to touch up is big whys. Why do we want to be peacemakers? And what is the rush in that to be peacemakers while I'm still youth, right? And these are the thoughts that I want to touch on and start with that our beloved father of the nation, Dr. Karamchand Mahatma Gandhi, ji said, be the change you wish to see in the world. So I want to invite you all to be that change and as a youth of this nation to step up to be a peacemaker of the world. Given the condition of the world right now, even though we all are learning about peacemaking and all other things, we also have been coming up with little conflicts, also fights and blood right up there. So we have that opportunity to be a peacemaker in the world and change that conditions and make the world a better place. And the other one is how the world-renowned leader, Nelson Mandela mentioned, the youth of today will be the leaders of tomorrow. So he's exactly talking about you all and I, that we are youth today, will be leaders tomorrow. So there is an immense need for all of us to prepare from now on to be leaders and also peacemakers in the world. On that note, I would like to share a proverb my grandmother teaches since my childhood. It goes like this in Telugu. It says, "Mokkai vanganidi manai vanguna," which translates, if the plant doesn't bend, how can we bend the tree? So that's why, even in our youth, we need to start preparing to be a better peacemakers in the world and help this world and be that change in the world. And I would like to conclude with a quote saying, we came out from the quote saying, sky is the limit, because we already have footprints on the moon now. That brings us the immense opportunity and need for us to be peacemakers as youth. And thank you. Mahalo.
Yes, thank you so much. Now we are very pleased to have our young, dynamic Executive President of MIT World Peace University and Managing Trustee and of MITES MIT Group of Institutions, and also the Chief Initiator of huge and humongous platforms like NLC, BCS, NTC. So may I request Honorable Shri Rahul V. Karad sir to kindly address all these youth guidance.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
So I have no words to express my happiness. I must say that all my compliments and all those feelings and emotions for all of you, the youngsters here sitting, since we started long back the platform called Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad and Indian Students Parliament, National Women's Parliament, and various such platforms we have initiated under the aegis of MIT World Peace University, MIT School of Government. So this particular session is very dear to my heart. I'm just going to take 1 or 2 minutes and express particularly the very mission, what I think you all have attended the inauguration program. Also, some of you, I think yesterday there was a different lot of students, but this particular lot, I'm sure from day one, you all are here and you have understood the very essence and the philosophy and the ethos and the culture of this institution. And we all are like-minded. I mean to say, whatever you are sharing your mind. So it is a very important like-minded young people group sitting here on this dais. And some year before, we initiated, my dear friends, one idea of Youth Peace Ambassador Program under the aegis of MIT World Peace University and, of course, the World Peace Dome, with the vision of our founder. And he guided that we must establish one such program in the name of Youth Peace Ambassador Program. And some design, some structure, and some format we have already worked upon. Professor Patre, we have another very senior leader in the peace and conflict and resolution, Professor Sanjay, Professor Upadhyay is also sitting here, our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Chitnis. All of us, we have worked on this. So I want to appeal all the youth, particularly sitting here, and soon we are going to launch this Youth Peace Ambassador Program. It will be for 2-week program. It will be almost like a very minimal fee structure we have designed and decided for this, and a very beautiful structure for 14 long days, what they will do, how they will do, and that complete journey of 14 days and how they can transform in 14 days time. Of course, 14 days is not enough in that sense, but we felt that we have to start because of the paucity of time and the worldwide youth we want to attract a like-minded group similar like you. So what I want to request Professor Patre, Upadhyay, that this particular group immediately, maybe in the week or so, we should have a Zoom call meeting or some interaction with this group. And your design, the program design, what you have thought of, that can be shared with all of them. And they have the wonderful idea, what we are right now sitting on the dais, and everybody is sharing such a wonderful thoughts here. So for the continuation purpose, this interfaith convention is a very important convention. Every year we have the World Philosophers Meet, where also we invite number of religious leaders, scientific leader, and all the faith leaders. And it is not new for our institution, my dear friends, but this, with this G20 mission of Honorable Prime Minister, and it was such a coincidence that Mr. Professor Cole Durham, our meeting 4 years before in Japan, and it is really coinciding with this very mission of our Prime Minister also, that G20 and Interfaith, this summit we have conducted very beautifully last 2 days. So please do think, all of you, and I want to appeal all of you that this program design and this very center, this program we want to impart, this Peace Ambassador Program. So please do participate, and there are many other students sitting, our own students of World Peace University and MIT ADT University, and our university system of our MIT group of institutions, how to promote, how to take it ahead. So please do think, Professor Pandey, so please do think seriously on this issue, and please take the benefit of the collective wisdom of all these young leaders. Thank you so much once again, and you all are great. Thank you, fantastic.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. I understand there is paucity of time, yet I must say that National Education Policy 2022 rolled out, which made certain subjects compulsory, like science, spirituality, religion, culture. But even before NEP, in 2017, with the vision of Revered Kara sir and the exemplary execution capabilities of Rahulji, these subjects like science, spirituality, culture, heritage, as an academic delivery credit program was built, and probably MIT World Peace University is the first university in the world which built 12 credit program compulsorily into the very curriculum, and 3,000 peace lectures are being conducted every month in a technical and management university. Please understand. Thank you. Yes. Yes. And so, just going ahead in the program, for his presidential speech, I would like to invite Jeff Nelson and Janet Nelson, Senior Fellows, International Center for Law and Religious Studies, for a very quick, address. Thank you.
I'm short. Okay. My husband Jeff and I raised our family in Brooklyn, New York, where our friends and neighbors were from very diverse backgrounds. I'd like to share a story with you today of an experience that changed my thinking about faith communities and the personal strength that came from that. In 2015, Pope Francis made a visit to New York City, and we were invited by our friend, Bishop James Massa, to attend this Prayer for Peace, which was an event for local church leaders. It was held in the 9/11 Memorial Museum in Lower Manhattan. Before the actual prayer service, Jeff and I walked around looking for people to talk to. I came upon 4 Muslim women who were dressed in modest clothing and hijabs, and they were beautiful. We started talking, and we talked about what it meant to be a woman of faith. They were empowered by the hijab, and I spoke of my struggle to represent myself as a woman of faith without a religious garment that could be seen. This meeting, the Prayer for Peace, was a gathering of 500 local leaders. Prayers were offered by an imam, a rabbi, Orthodox Christian, an evangelical pastor, a Buddhist monk, a Sikh, and a Hindu. We left that meeting feeling that we were part of a large community of faith in New York City, of all places. I recorded in my journal these thoughts. Today, I felt strongly that God is the Father of us all. He created us and gave us the agency to choose how we worship and to respect that in others. We are brothers and sisters of a common Heavenly Father. Jeff and I have been involved in promoting and defending religious freedom for many years. In many of the events we attended, we noticed that there was a lot of gray hair and a lot of talk. As we pondered a way to involve younger people, we came up with an idea that we call Heal the World, from the Hebrew Tikkun Olam. It's a diapraxis idea where dialogue and action are combined. Heal the World are events that create opportunities for youth to feel a part of a larger faith community, learn about the importance of religious freedom, and build a greater understanding about and respect for each other's beliefs, which will end conflict and bring peace. Now I'm going to turn it over to Jeff to explain a little bit more. Go this way.
The following concept of diapraxis has been developed from many conversations and experiences with young people around the world. It is called, as my wife indicated, Heal the World events. The concept is simple, and its implementation should also focus on simplicity. Each event consists of 2 parts. First, young people organize and carry out interfaith community service with participants from various diverse religious and belief traditions and worldviews, focusing on the needs of the community that are of interest to the youth. Second, on the same day as the interfaith community service, the young people will gather, maybe for 20 or 30 minutes, when 3 things would happen. 1, selected participants would provide information about their faith or belief tradition, which would lead to greater understanding. 2, selected participants would talk about the importance of freedom of religion or belief and human dignity for everyone, everywhere. And thirdly, the participants would briefly share their positive experiences of serving with others and present suggestions for future Heal the World events. And then such events are repeated often, maybe monthly, to fully achieve the objectives and allow more to be involved. What are those objectives? They relate to what Janet has shared. One, young people will provide meaningful service to their community in an environment that they will recognize that they are part of a larger community of faith beyond their own and experience the good that can be accomplished by linking arms. In other words, you will make new friends and increase peace while healing the world. Secondly, young people will learn the importance of freedom of religion or belief and human dignity for everyone, everywhere. And young people will learn about other faith traditions and worldviews to develop respect and love for others. And finally, those young people who participate will have the joy that results from acting in accordance with their own faith or belief tradition. When we talk about youth, we're not talking about 67-year-olds. We're talking about 12 to 30-year-olds, perhaps a little bit of flexibility, organized perhaps in age groups. We can provide brief guidelines for this Daya practice to heal the world, and we would invite each of you, if you are interested, and we hope you are, to write to healtheworld@g20interfaith.org. I'm going to repeat that because it's not appearing up on the screen. Heal the World, that's HEALTHEWORLD at G20interfaith.org. And with that invitation, we will send you more information on how you can become involved in implementing Heal the World and therefore make this world a better place and a more peaceful place. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jeff Nelson and Janet Nelson. Thank you so much. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are eager to listen to the UNESCO chairholder, Professor Dr. Vishwanath D. Karad, sir, founder and chief patron, MIT Pune, and president of MIT World Peace University and the creator of this magnificent dome. Revered Karad, sir.
My dear learned friends of this unique session under the banner of G20 Interfaith Summit on the very important topic of shaping the world peace and sustainable development through interfaith dialogue for creating harmony and peace to the mankind. After listening to all the youngsters today, I, for one, I have a deep sense of satisfaction that the future of the world is in the safe hands of these youngsters. That's the most beautiful part of it. They are going to be the future leaders. They have understood the spirit for which this conference is being held. And in this unique dome, which is in the name of philosophers and Jnaneshwara, trying to understand the essence and philosophy behind science and spiritual component of life. And when it is being named as a spiritually oriented scientific laboratory, for the world community, not for India alone or not for Vishwanath Karad and his team. That is the feeling which I just could sense. I was listening very carefully to all these youngsters from different countries, different subjects, different ideas and the concepts. But I feel nothing more I can add. But let's keep us having some communication and the dialogue. The various questions were discussed. I think suspiciousness, the anger, jealousy and ego are the very typical four components of life which we have to control. To realize the self, realize and understand the spirit behind, understand the purpose behind, and the purpose of our own life too. I think this small gathering here in this World Peace Dome will show the pathway of harmony and peace to mankind. That is my feeling, and that's my hope. I sincerely feel and appeal to you once again, friends, that if we have a very transparent and wonderful pattern of thinking in MIT World Peace University, we have been always saying to help the students to develop the winning personality. What is this winning personality of our future ambassadors? It is you should be physically fit, mentally alert, intellectually sharp, but spiritually elevated. And that combines the entire essence and the purpose of this meeting and this conference. I'm really grateful to Kolduram and his team, Mr. Milind Pandey and his team from our institution for making this very unique and wonderful discussion to understand the minds of each other. Have some wonderful dialogue, heart-to-heart dialogue. Just a communication skill may not help us, but possibly the deep passion and the fire in your belly to do something good for the society and the humanity is going to evolve and promote this culture of peace in the world, in the future, in this century and thereafter. Thank you, friends. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. A huge round of applause for this, great efforts towards world peace. And sir, we promise on behalf of everyone that yes, we will not fail in the vision, which you bestow upon us, the expectations you keep from us. We will rise to the occasion and we will do all that is needful and necessary for the goal, for the ambitious goal, for the cause for which you have spent your whole life for. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so Deepak Kumar. So Dr. Deepak Kumar wants to offer global peace pin to Shri Karar sir. So yes, may I please request him to offer him the global peace pin as a gesture of his reverence to revered Karar sir ji. So please give a huge round of applause for this very impromptu gesture here by Dr. Deepak Kumar. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. A huge round of applause once again. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Deepak Kumar. Thank you. And for a very quick announcement, may I request Honorable Vice Chancellor of MIT World Peace University to please come upon the dais. Thank you.
Good afternoon and namaskar. You are aware by this time through the deliberations that the governance in the country and the peace, it has a direct relationship. Countries who have better governance, they have prospered. The career of the young students in that country, they have prospered. Countries which do not have good governance systems, some of them our neighboring countries. There is a question mark on the student's career and the entire life for that matter. Democracy and non-democratic government, these are the two parts, but in the democratic government, the governance is completely dependent on the four pillars: politico, media, judiciary and bureaucracy. And if you have such strengthening activities for these four areas, when you are young, you try to contribute into these four areas, your country's democracy will go up. US is the first democracy in this world, and India is the largest democracy in this world. To strengthen the fabric of democracy, Honorable Rahul Vishwanath Karad sir in 2005 created MIT School of Government. Further to that, 6 years then, 2011, Rahul Vishwanath Karad sir started Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad, a global platform for strengthening the democracy, strengthening the governance in that particular country. I hereby announce that the next episode of global platform Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad will be conducted in MIT World Peace University, Pune campus on 10, 11 and 12 January 2024. And here is an appeal, earnest appeal to all of you, those who are students of different universities, to register yourself not only for participating into that particular Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad episode 2024, but nominate yourself as a volunteer. Thereby you have so many benefits and your entire persona would change. Undergraduate is a development and PG is a placement, as it is said in India. This would be the platform which will prove as a game changer in your life. So don't look back, come forward, and we want 3,000 plus volunteers into this, and I'm sure that we'll get nominations of 30,000. Once again, we congratulate Dr. Rahul Vishwanath Karad sir for such a conduction of Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad from 2011 till 2024. And let's put our hands together for Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad. Depending on applause, I'll see how many of you will come forward for being volunteers. More the applause, more the volunteers. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. R.M. Chitnis, sir. Thank you very much. The applause was great, and so we are so thankful for that. And now I request that we will have a group photograph there. So I request all the dais, please carry on the book, the Spec Vivekananda with you as well. There are books shared with all the delegates there, all the students there. They should also keep the book, the Spec Vivekananda, and they should hold it high during the photograph. I request all the dignitaries on the dais, all the students here, to please come below the dais for a group photograph, and the felicitation followed after that. So please maintain the decency, the decorum. Please don't do any movements. All the students, please rise in your seats when there is a photograph. And I request all the dignitaries to kindly walk down the dais. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we are ready for the group photograph before the last, which is valedictory session of G20 Interfaith Summit. I would like to request everyone in the audience to please rise in their seats for the photograph and hold their hands high in the sky for the group photograph. Beautiful. Thank you very much for that beautiful photograph. I request everyone to please hold their hands high. Please hold each other's hand high in the sky for the photograph. I request photographers to please capture the moment. Such a beautiful scene from here. Beautiful, beautiful photograph where all the students and all the dignitaries are present in this important pre-valedictory session of G20 Interfaith Summit 2023, Shaping World. I request everyone, please, we are still capturing the photograph, it's not done. Yes, hold your hands high, hold each other's hand high. Please hold each other's hands. Even the guests in the front, please hold hands. Hold each other's hands. Yes, yes. Absolutely. Thank you very much for that photograph. Thank you so much, students. It's amazing energy I can see in the students and beautiful smiles on their faces. Thank you very much. With this,